Hey guys, John Burgher, the Mailbox guy. Today I'm going to go over our wholesale contract. In my business, we use two separate contracts. One of them is our very detail-oriented creative contract that we use for sub-2 wraps, we use for seller finance, we use for hybrids, we use for cash deals if we're using private money. So, and that actually has all of our disclosures and all that in it. But today we're going to go over our wholesale contract because not every day you can put a piece of property in your portfolio. So you have to have another exit strategy so you're not leaving money on the table. So we do use a wholesale contract. However, our contract is totally different than most of them out there that are online. Online, you're going to see one pagers, two pagers, that kind of stuff. Ours is actually 7 pages long. The reason why is our attorney says you need to be protected. I don't want to go to jail. So let's get into this contract and let's keep you out of jail also. Let me switch screens here. In this contract, I'm going to go through line by line. Some of it I'm going to paraphrase, some of it I'm going to read. But going through here, obviously it is a real estate sales and purchase contract. The first section you just put in the contract date. The next section is just simply the seller's name, email, and their address and phone number. So you have full contact information of them. The next section here is going to be your information as the buyer. You also have and or assignee, meaning that you can assign it to somebody else if you need to, or into one of your LLCs. The next section you're going to see is the property address. Pretty simple. We're going to put in here the purchase price. How much are you actually going to pay for that property? Then you have earnest money. But I want to stop here just a second and talk about earnest money. Typically, we're going to put down $10, maybe $100, because if in my company we're working 40 or 50 contracts at a time, if I'm putting down $1,000 on each of those contracts, and let's say there's 50 in the pipeline right now, that's $50,000 I've got tied up in just earnest deposits. You can't do that. It's a cash flow headache. That's why we put down $10, maybe $100. Usually if you'd explain that to the seller, they don't have a problem with it. The next section is going to be the target closing. We use this in business days. So typically we're looking for a 60 to 90 business day close. We don't put a specific day in there simply because we have a clause in here that says that the buyer has to give us access and approved current pictures of the property. So the countdown to the start of the contract doesn't start until we have access and pictures of the property. If the seller can't provide you pictures, at that point, we're going to go hire a photographer to go out and get those pictures for us. At that point, once those are in, now your timeline starts. Okay. In here, it automatically says that this contract will extend automatically if none of this stuff is being done on time. Okay. Escrow agent. Usually we put to be determined because we're not sure which escrow company we're going to go with, but I highly suggest you only use your own escrow company. Never use the seller's. Sometimes the seller's escrow company can blow it up if they don't understand what you are doing, especially when you're doing wholesale assignment stuff. The next part of this agreement, basically, seller agrees to sell, buyer agrees to purchase the property, along with all the other fixtures that are in there, the built-in appliances, as well as the freestanding stove and range. If they're gonna leave other personal property, you need to check it in here, such as refrigerator, washer, dryer, and write in anything else that they are going to leave. Okay, so that you know that it conveys to you. Earnest money. This is kind of one of those ninja tricks also that our attorney taught us. Earnest money. Buyer shall deposit earnest money with escrow agent after the due diligence period. Okay. So the key there is let's go look at due diligence period. That's going to be our next section. In this contract, it says this contract is subject to inspection and can be canceled anytime up to 1 day before target closing after seller has provided buyer access to the property and current pictures. Basically what that means is if you got a 60-day business day contract on your target, your due diligence period lasts up to 59 days, business days, okay? You can cancel anytime after that, or anytime before. You can cancel anytime before that. Now, The earnest money does not have to be deposited until after you are done with your due diligence period, which basically means you don't have to deposit your earnest money except for 1 day prior to close. By then, you have your buyer in place, and his earnest money will substitute out your earnest money. So really, you never have any money out of pocket. Let's go to the next section.